Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms Chats, where we've been making live videos to talk about what parents need to know about education during the pandemic. And we're not having in-person events, but we are having virtual events to get the word out. And it's December, and it is the height of open enrollment season. And so lately, we've been talking to school leaders and charter school network leaders about what makes their school unique. And I'm so excited that today we have Barry LeMaitre. Did I say it right? Is it
LeMaitre.
okay?
Good try.
LeMaitre. Okay, I tried. Okay, LeMaitre. Okay. And he is the principal of Brooks Lone Star Academy, which is one of the campuses in Brooks Academies of Texas. And so he's going to talk about his campus and also more broadly about the school culture of Brooks Academies. And so a little bit about Barry's background. So he's originally from Scotland. He's been in education for over 20 years. And in the United States, he's taught in San Antonio, Texas, and also in Florida. So Barry, is there anything else about your bio that you want to point out? Or
No, I mean, as you say, I've had the opportunity to start my educational career in the United Kingdom, and then I've been in America now for 10 years. So teaching in Miami and Texas.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that you're in Texas. And when I met you, you were getting ready to be the school leader at Brooks Lone Star, and it's a beautiful campus. I remember coming to the sort of ribbon cutting for it, and I miss the fact that this year I haven't been able to do school tours as much as I used to, be able to see kids and teachers in their element. So, but I was wondering if you could speak more broadly about the Brooks Academy's mission and how that plays out at the different campuses around San Antonio.
Perfect. So the Brooks Academies of Texas, we actually have 4 schools housed here in San Antonio, 2 larger schools, pre-K through 12 campuses, and 2 smaller campuses. What holds us all together is our mission statement. And our mission statement is to promote a transformational culture that maximizes student achievement and the development of accountable global learning in a safe and enriching environment that fosters high quality care. So as a district, that's what we're looking at. But then each campus has the opportunity to redefine that mission statement and make it more personal to their own campus. So here at Brooks Lone Star Academy, we realize that each student needs to be guided on their own personal educational path. Therefore, we take the time to build and foster relationships with students, and not only them, but their families as well, to best support their academic. And in this time that we're finding ourselves in this unprecedented time, we need to really focus on the social and emotional needs of the students and their families.
Yeah, and I should mention, so in the description of this video, there's a link to a blog post. It's an enrollment guide blog post. It's new on our site about Brooks Academies. And in the bottom, we've got links to other content that we've shared from Brooks. And we had a guest post from Paula Turner talking about the mindfulness moments and how they incorporate different positions and breathing exercises and how that helps students to reset. So I want to make sure that folks watching the video know about the blog post, and there's links to earlier content that we've shared related to Brooks Academies, because it's a rich culture, and there's all these programs to, as like you said, build up the social emotional awareness of students.
Definitely correct.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you in particular about the Brooks Lone Star campus, and one of the things about Brooks Lone Star is the focus on Spanish language. So I was wondering if you talk about how it's still part of the Brooks culture and mission, but there are some features that are unique to Lone Star.
That's correct. Each of our 4 campuses has their own unique style and flair. At Brooks Lone Star Academy, we actually have the opportunity to follow 2 very unique and distinct curriculum pathways. I think when I first spoke with you, Inga, we only had the Spanish language program. Then this year, we actually brought in the dual language program. So we actually have 2 language programs running simultaneously in the school. And I just want to highlight, before I go into talking a little bit more about those 2 programs, that at Brooks, we are a tuition-free public school, and that's all of our campuses. So let me tell you a little bit more about those two programs. So in the Spanish language program, students have the opportunity to learn Spanish twice a day, once in an oral Spanish class, and secondly, within social studies. And both of those classes are taught by a certified bilingual teacher who comes into the classroom and provides that instruction to the students. The rest of their daily instruction is in daily instruction in English language arts, math, science, PE, art, and music are all delivered in English. Whereas in the dual language immersion program, we follow a 50-50 model. So students receive instruction in both English and Spanish. 50% of their day's instruction is delivered in English and 50% of instruction is delivered in Spanish. English language arts, math, and science is provided in English, and Spanish language arts, math, and social studies is provided in Spanish. And within both programs, students receive PE and recess daily. And art and music classes are blended into their day-to-day curriculum.
Yeah, well, that's really helpful to know because I remember when my kids were very young, I really didn't understand the difference between the different types of language programs, like whether it was immersion or dual language or learning a foreign language like during certain parts of the day. And that's the kind of thing where this goes to the mission of San Antonio Charter Moms, that we're trying to help families learn what these different options mean and encourage them to ask questions. So like when they go on a school tour, whether it's in person or a virtual tour, or when they have the chance to ask questions of a school leader, and they can say, well, what does it mean when you say dual language education? And people like you're such a good communicator about what Brooks Lone Star does. And I think that's really important, because then families they learn more about it, they feel more confident about it, they get curious about it, they get excited about it, and then when they do come, they feel like they're part of a community because it's their choice. They chose to be there, and they're excited their kids are getting that education.
You're right.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could tell some stories or examples of things that you've seen at Brooks Lone Star that demonstrate the Brooks school culture, or that demonstrate some of the unique aspects of Brooks Lone Star.
Certainly. I know we had a conversation off camera. I actually have included a small PowerPoint presentation that I'd like to prepare at the end, because sometimes when you are saying something to people, they can't really visualize what does that look like in the school setting. So at the end of the presentation, there are photographs of the students involved in some of these activities that I'm going to mention about school culture and our environment that we created here at Brooks Lone Star Academy. So to start with, a highlight for our school is focusing on, it goes back to what I said earlier, the emotional well-being of our students. In all of our classrooms, we are a kinder through 5th grade campus, every class starts every day with mindfulness activities. So they have 15 minutes of mindfulness factored into their schedule. It's in there, so the teachers can't hide away from it. Students are encouraged to participate in these activities to help them focus on the present moment. As we know, in the times that we're facing, we're not sure where these students have come from, what's happening in their household. So when they come in at the start of the day, we want to really allow them that opportunity to become present with that moment, and then be able to work skillfully with their thoughts and emotions. Now, working hand in hand with that initiative, as a district, we also included yoga for classrooms into the daily lives of our students. Within the school day, as you're wandering around the classrooms, the students are actually learning yoga poses, including breathing techniques that they can use to their benefit within the classroom. For example, prior to testing, especially in the upper grades in 3rd through 5th, students are encouraged to practice their deep breathing techniques to reduce anxiety and tension. And students also have the opportunity, and I think you mentioned this as well, Inga, on our district website, we actually have videos on mindfulness by Paula Turner, who's our social emotional coordinator for the district, that students can then utilize at home. So it's not, this is just for the students in school, but for those students who are actually teaching remotely right now, they're also involved in this 15-minute of mindfulness. And then it gives them the opportunity to home into that website at home at different times throughout the day. So throughout the year, there have been many opportunities for family and community involvement. Last year, we had many events throughout the school, such as Trunk or Treat. We had a snow day where we had all this artificial snow arrive on our campus, which was wonderful. We also have a Reading Under the Stars event and movie nights. Due to the situation we find ourselves in this year, we've had to be really creative. So we actually wanted to continue with a Trunk or Treat this year. So we actually held a drive-through Trunk or Treat. And in one of the photographs, you'll actually see that we had a drive-by Trunk or Treat. And I think it was actually attended more than the Trunk or Treat event last year. So it was wonderful to see. And the wonderful thing about it is we were seeing those students who are being taught remotely coming to that event. So it was really amazing to see those students and their families participate in that event. In the upcoming year, we will be hosting additional events such as Reading Under the Stars. And we have a calendar that we'll share with our parents and families. And they have a huge impact on us as well and the events that we're doing. Monthly, we hold a coffee with the principal event, and at that coffee with the principal event, the parents will come on. Obviously, it's online right now, but they will get to have a say in what we're going to put forward with our school and their ideas, so their voice is heard, and that's really important. As I say to the parents, the students, and my faculty, this is not my school, it's our school. As soon as you walk into here, I want you to have that ownership that this is your school as well, so your voice needs to be heard. So one other thing that we pride ourselves on is the communication we have with our staff and parents. We think that sets us apart from other schools. We make sure that parent communication is a top priority. We feel that solid partnerships with our parents is so important to the success of our students. We accomplish this through technology and in-person communication. And we pride ourselves in being available to our parents in order to address any questions they may have about their child's academic life using Parent Square and Facebook. And we believe that this is a reason why student participation in online learning has been strong, because students themselves are using online learning platforms as a way to keep up relationships with their peers. We also believe that this is a contributing factor as to why parents highly value and respect our educators. Just this week, the parents have inundated us with so many wonderful donations that it's been nice. They wanted to basically give back to the teachers. They know that they've been going over and above the call of duty. So every day they've actually been dropping in, and they kind of, we actually have a discussion group for our parents on Facebook, and between themselves, they decided we want to give back. Another thing I think that sets us apart is the diversity that we have here at Brooks Lone Star Academy. One of our committees works on project-based learning. So the reason they work on that is they place it in the lessons, and they decide on activities that celebrates the diversity and the workforce in this country. For example, in the month of December, we're actually incorporating a holiday around the world activity in which every classroom is participating. And using great appropriate differentiation, we're encouraging the teachers to guide students in researching, learning about, and presenting their findings related to the different ways that holidays are celebrated around the world. For example, Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah, to name a few. Additionally, throughout the year, there are also other events that we celebrate and learn more about, such as Hispanic Heritage Month, Dia de los Muertos, Black History Month, Women's History Month, and Korea Day. So we expect that over the years to come, we'll actually continue to add to more of those celebrations. So we truly recognize how important diversity is, not only to our campus, but our country as well. And the last thing I want to pick up on is the academics side of it. And we truly review, study, and act upon academic feedback that we receive from state, district, and campus data regarding learning. Using the data students have provided, and this is really important, the data's no good if we just use it in the classroom ourselves and we hold that away from the students. Students are part of that integral process. We discuss the data with them, and we put them on independent learning paths that provide either intervention for those friends who are struggling on some concepts, or enrichment for those students who are needing to move to that next level. And so the administration faculty are also really heavily involved in that process.
Yeah. Wow. There's just so much richness in what you're describing, and I'm really looking forward to the later phase when we bring up the photos and stuff, because I think that'll like I've been to campus, although it was brand new. But for the folks who haven't seen the campus yet, they'll see how these things come to life. I can just tell how animated you are when you talk about the events and about and I checked the social media accounts today, and there's some just adorable pictures of of these celebrations coming to life. Yeah, it's a really rich school culture.
And the one good thing, like you're saying, with those celebrations, the wonderful thing is that we're including those friends who are remote learning right now. And with the celebration that we just did with our second annual wreath competition, we passed that information out to the students and their families, and they participated. So it was wonderful seeing them coming into the school environment and being part of that celebration.
Yeah, something that I'm hearing from families and from teachers and from commentators is, folks are worried about the distance learning students not feeling like they're part of the school community. And if they feel like they're not part of the community, they may not be learning as much. They may not be as engaged with their learning. And it sounds like at Brooks Lone Star, you're working very, very hard to make sure those students do feel engaged, and things like having the mindfulness videos accessible online so they can participate in that part of the learning, right? And that these celebrations that make the experience richer, that they're able to participate in those as well.
You're completely right. And we also do monthly spirit weeks. So with those spirit weeks, our students, and it's so wonderful because the parents are taking photographs of their students at home and they will send them in to us so then we can post them online. So the parents themselves are saying, you know what, this is really important to my child, that they still are part of this community and feel that they're part of the community. So they're the ones also helping us during this time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good. Well, I want to ask you some more sort of little detailed questions, but the questions that parents sometimes ask, and then we can jump into the slides. And then maybe at the very end we can talk about the what parents should do to take action, right? As far as where they apply and things.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I warned you I was going to ask about is about students with special needs. So I have a child with special needs, and that's a question that comes up a lot in the Facebook discussion group. Is a family was, but they're wondering, my child has this diagnosis, and will they succeed at this campus? And it comes up a lot where parents will mention Brooks Lone Star in particular as a place where they have felt included, and they have felt like there are high expectations for their children. So I was wondering if you could comment on that.
So we have an amazing director, an associate director of special needs who oversee all of the students in our 4 campuses. And on each campus, we have our case managers as well. So this pandemic has allowed that team to come together and given them the opportunity to think outside the box and work with alternate methods of teaching that meet each student's individual needs. So the district has explored a variety of different options to include hybrid settings that are comprised of both synchronous and asynchronous learning. And we also have some students continuing to work the traditional paper and pencil method. So all accommodations and modifications coming from IEPs or 504 plans continue to be honored through the virtual setting. We have also been able to provide more academic stimulation for students that demonstrate this area of need. And we have some elementary students enrolled in middle school classes online in order to meet their academic needs. As always, we continue to offer all programs and services virtually or in person, including speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, inclusion services, dyslexia, ESL, for example. It's been amazing to see the high level of efficiency using a virtual platform and what it can deliver. The other beauty of technology is that parents also have the opportunity to see firsthand what their children are learning, and they're exposed to ways to continue to support their children's educational development outside of the school.
Yeah, it warms my heart because I mean, special ed kids, they have so much potential, but it's important for the adults to really pay attention to each child and find out what they need. And what you're describing is that basically you're using all the available tools to make it accessible to them. Yeah, and in spite of the pandemic, still having ambitious goals and making sure that the students' needs are getting met and not just making excuses about, well, maybe not this year. No, even this year.
And that's something when this pandemic hit us, as a team, we all came together and we revised the students' IEPs and 504s to reflect this situation that we're finding ourselves in right now. It was a lot of work, but it's important work that needed to be done.
Yeah, yeah. So my next question was about the pandemic, but not just with respect to special needs students, but sort of more broadly, like what kinds of changes um, has have Brooks Academy's campuses made to accommodate, like, so not just special needs kids, but like, general education, to make sure that the learning is still happening in spite of the pandemic.
Okay, great question. So as a team, again, there's that key word. We are a team. In this district, we all come together, and the decisions that we make are for the betterment of the students and the families. So we've worked really hard to ensure that staff and students are kept safe through these unprecedented times. Brooks Academies of Texas has been proactive in responding to local guidelines to protect not only the students, but their families, but all of our employees. Our families have been provided with the opportunity to choose which learning model supports them. And at this time, we actually have 3 different learning models over our 4 campuses. We have face-to-face instruction, synchronous instruction, and we also have asynchronous instruction. So all 4 of the campuses, we've brought students back to the campus in phases, and we ensure that all times social distancing is maintained. Currently, classrooms house no more than 6 students in their pod. Every Tuesday, we follow the guidance that Metro Health and the mayor are stating in their weekly review on schools. So because we are in the red zone right now, which students are currently in pods of 6. And inside that classroom, each student has their own specified workspace, which currently right now is 36 square feet. So in all of our campuses, we're limiting the movement of students around the school. We basically want them to be in their classroom as much as they can. I'm going to speak more so from my campus here. In our cafeteria, students will go into the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, they are sitting at a table with the square footage that they need. And we actually use a red and green cup system in our school. And the students have been really good at responding very quick to that. So if they sit at a table and it has a green cup, that means it's green for go. They can sit there for their lunch, and they have assigned seating every day for their lunch, so we can track where the students have sat. And then as soon as the students are finishing their lunch, they'll actually flip that cup over to red, and that indicates the cafeteria staff that they need to go and disinfect that area. And once they've disinfected it, it will go back to green. So it's an amazing little system that's working for us. We also have had to really change our dismissal. How was that going to look like at the end of the day? So now the students are actually getting dismissed from their classrooms. We're trying to reduce as much people coming into the campus. So we're really working on that enhanced communication with our parents. We've also adapted by keeping our students safe by having a social emotional learning coordinator was hired this year who coordinates over all of our social workers and school counselors, and make sure that the children and their families, and not only them, but the staff as well, emotional and social needs are being looked after and catered to. We've increased custodial staff across the district to ensure schools are deep cleaned daily. Each classroom has their own sanitizing station. Water fountains are off limits right now, but we've encouraged students to bring in their own water bottles, and we actually have in cafeterias water filling stations where the students can refill their water bottles. If parents have to come to the campus, for example, on Mondays, we actually do a curbside pickup for those students who are remote students who need to pick up their breakfast or lunches, or maybe a packet that's going out that week. So the parents will arrive on campus, they'll call the school, we'll have everything ready for them, and we'll actually take that out to the car for them. We do temperature monitor checks when staff and students arrive on the campus each day. And as I said to you previously, we follow CDC guidelines, especially when it comes to mask wearing and social distancing. And any cases that do arise with COVID, we act upon them immediately, and we seek guidance from our district nurse, which follow CDC and Metro Health guidelines.
Yeah, wow, that's really thorough. I mean, that's you're doing everything you can so that the students can be safe on campus, the staff can be safe on campus, families can feel confident that yeah, and but you're giving families a choice so that if there's a family that really does need to stay with distance learning until the world reopens, then they can do that, and they'll still get a rich educational experience, and they'll still be part of the school community if they do that.
Definitely, and as I said, the one thing that's wonderful about that is that those parents at home have the option, and so some parents will actually sign up to the online learning classroom session, and then the students will upload their activities to Google Classroom. Or for some of those parents, they're going asynchronous, but the teachers still check in on those children and those families. It's not you're going asynchronous, we're going to forget about you right now. They'll check in with them a couple of times a week. How is everything? Is there anything I can do to support your child right now? Do they understand the activity? So it's not you're going remote and we're going to forget about you. It's no. You're still part of that culture. You're still part of who we are. You're our family and we want to engage with you.
Yeah, like you said, it's a team. It's a whole
Completely.
team effort.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good. Okay, well, how about we switch to the slideshow? Does that sound
Perfect.
good? Okay, great. Okay, so let me okay, I'm gonna start the button and then I'm gonna add it to the screen. Let's see. Here we go. See. Hope that technology cooperates. Okay, where's my oh, I lost my mouse. Uh-oh. Oh, is that the wrong moment? Oh, wait. Okay. Uh there. All right, we're good.
So we're just starting off with a little quote. If you're always trying to be normal, you'll never know how amazing you can be. We always say to our students, believe in yourself. We believe in you. We're here every day. And it's all about one thing I always say to my staff is if you don't build relationships with the students and families, then you really can't move forward with your teaching. You need to know where that child is coming from. So it really is important. I don't know if it's moving on. Do you need to click the
Let me
screen?
let me check. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, oh yeah, so Brooks Lone Star Academy. Okay, let me pop to the next.
So this is our mindfulness. This is actually our first grade class right now. And as I said, the students begin their day with 15 minutes of mindfulness activities, including deep breathing, exercising, mindfulness, and you saw them just now doing yoga. I think I didn't actually have time to mention this, but we actually have a sensory hallway here in our main campus. And
Sorry.
in that
Oh no,
hallway,
I'm messing it up. I'm so sorry.
okay,
Wait, I'm trying to do the back button and it's going forward. Okay, wait.
it is going forward.
Oh, now it's going back again. So I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Technology is a wonderful thing.
Okay. And my mouse actually disappeared. So
So let me go back to that. So we do have a sensory hallway here on the campus, and the sensory hallway allows transitions between lunch, recess, and classrooms to be interactive and fun. And I think, Inga, you actually had the opportunity to see that, and it's wonderful. And that's in our lower elementary buildings. So those kinders, first, second graders who have to get those wiggles out, and even some of the teachers who have to get their wiggles out, have that opportunity to do so in those transition periods. One thing in the slideshow I really want to pick up on is that students have the opportunity to have one-on-one technology. That's something that our district superintendent, Superintendent Schutz, wanted to ensure that throughout the district, each child had access to one-on-one technology. So students use that technology, it's blended into their school day, and it also is used as support for interventions and enrichment programs. So I don't know what slide it's going on to now.
and yeah, I'm wait.
So there's the sensory hallway.
I brought it back to sensory hallway. Okay. I'm afraid. Okay.
It
But
might go on it. I think it has a look.
yeah, I think I can't go back, but I can go forward. So let's try this.
So there's
Yes,
our
okay.
technology. As I just mentioned, each child has access to a Chromebook, and including our remote students. So our next one slideshow that should hopefully be coming up is our science experiments. Students have the opportunity to experience science through regular planned experiments. So we ask of our teachers to plan science experiments either every week. Depending on the topic that they're doing, it might be every 2 weeks. But those students need to have the opportunity to manipulate the tools, and they get such wonderful ideas from them. Their hypotheses are amazing when you give them that opportunity to just experiment with the materials that they have in front of them. So here's actually our trunk or treat event that we held this year. So there's our drive-by trunk or treat event. So events occur throughout the year to engage the community-wide involvement. As I said, we had trunk or treat. Last year we had snow day, and we'll have a reading under the stars event this year. We're just not sure what that will look like, but even the dinosaurs turn up for our event. So the next slide goes into, we're very lucky here at Brooks Lone Star Academy that we actually have an outdoor kind of classroom area, and we have a humongous playing field. So teachers incorporate outdoor learning into their lesson plans whenever they can. Here, students were actually making an art project out of rocks. So we have an outdoor classroom, and as I said, we do have a huge football field.
Yeah, these pictures are just wonderful.
It warms my heart every time I see them, and I would say that I'm their principal, but it really does warm my heart. So COVID instruction, students and faculty members adhere to COVID district mandated policies such as social distancing and the wearing of masks. So here we have one of our 5th graders who's in his classroom. And the wonderful thing also of Brooks Lone Star Academy is we're a very small campus. So we really can take that time to get to know your child and work with you and work with them to give them the best instruction possible. So recess and PE time. So students participate in recess and PE classes daily using social distancing measures. So we have a wonderful fully equipped gymnasium, and the students currently right now are not having access to the playground. They because we can't disinfect it quick enough for the other students to come out, but they've adhered to that and they understand it. Another thing that we have in our school is we have flexible seating. Again, this is something we've had to adapt this year. We give students the opportunity to choose their seating options. They can have a chair, they can have a couch, they have wobbly chairs, and we have bean bags. Obviously, we can't use bean bags currently right now, but prior to COVID, they did. You would walk into a classroom, you would see some students sitting on a chair, some on a wobbly chair, some lying on the floor. Whatever way we want them to engage in their learning, we will allow it to happen. And then our classrooms are virtually learning ready classrooms. So classrooms are equipped to provide students the opportunity to receive high quality learning, either remotely or face-to-face.
Yeah, having the technology already built in.
Those pictures with you. I think it's so important that visually you can actually see I can talk the talk, but when you're actually seeing it, you're going, wow, that is really happening. That's what I can see right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the slide go away, but my mouse disappeared on my screen. So I'll just keep wobbling. So we'll keep talking, but I want to make sure that. Oh wait, I saw it. Let's see. Nope, I lost the mouse. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead with the information that I want to make sure parents hear before we close out the video. And that is, I always end with the call to action, which is if you're excited about seeing this campus, and if you like what you've heard about the school culture, what should parents do to take advantage of open enrollment, or if they still need to learn more about the campus, what should they do?
Perfect. Great question. So parents currently have the option to sign up for a virtual tour or open house by going to each school in our district's website. Obviously, if you're interested in Brooks Lone Star Academy, you're going to go to Brooks Lone Star Academy. And under the Contact Us drop-down, you select the campus that you're interested in touring. You'll also find it on our school Facebook page. So have a look for that. January tours for us at Brooks Lone Star Academy will actually take place on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. And they'll actually be available in English and Spanish. So please, I highly recommend you, if you're interested in taking a virtual tour, to go to the Brooks Lone Star website or go to Brooks Academy's website. You can still also contact the school individually for additional information, or you can go to the school's website. If you go to the Contact Us tab, you can complete an interest form, and that interest form will then be emailed to the administration team, myself, and also my office manager, Senora Lara, and then we will respond back to you. Now, we actually are currently conducting 2 forms of enrollment right now. We actually have immediate openings and open enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year. For immediate enrollments, we encourage you to contact the school on 210-998-4452 for guidance on what open positions we have. Open enrollment for 2021-2022 occurs via the school's website. On the campus website's main page, you'll find a button that links you to Brooks Academy's School Mint page. If you've not created an account, you'll need to do so. If you have already created an account in the past, you should be able to log in and apply. And then we're going to be holding our lottery in the week of February the 15th. If you have any concerns with the open enrollment or you need clarifying questions, then again, please call the school on 210-998-4452, and we'd be more than happy to give you more information, provide you with that open house tour dates, or give you additional information on how to log into Schoolmint and create your account.
That's a great summary, and I wish I have little banners that I wanted to share, but the important thing is going to brooksacademy.org, right? And they can, from there, they can find the campus websites, they can find the campus phone numbers, like you said. So that's the best way to find out about the immediate openings. There's the interest form, right, which goes to the school leader, and then reach out to the parent. And then there's the Schoolmint account that they can go in and just quickly do the process to apply for the next school year.
That's correct. And like you said earlier on, look into the school's Facebook page and you'll just see the wonderful activities that are going on and how we do incorporate the remote learners and the face-to-face students.
Yeah. Oh, I think I figured out. Okay. I figured out how to hide the slides. But now we're in like Brady Bunch mode on the screen. So thank you for being so accommodating about my technology issues today. But the important thing was we got to show the photos, and then, like you said, on the social media accounts for the schools, you really see the school culture coming out, and just how rich it is, how connected the teachers and the students and the families are, and just how much fun everyone's having. Like in spite of COVID, there's so much learning going on, and there's so much fun going on.
You're correct, and that's the one thing when people walk into the school. I don't know. It's just the wonderful environment that we've created. But most of the people we've actually had that come onto the school sign up to the school there and then because they just love the environment that they're coming into. It's just warm. It's rich. It's such education going on, but you'll hear laughter as well, and laughter is so important. It really is, and especially at this time, laughter is muy importante.
Sí. Well, Barry, it's been wonderful talking to you today, and I'm hoping that this helps more families be aware of Brooks Lone Star and about the different campuses in Brooks Academies of Texas, and that they can take steps to enroll their students either for the current school year or for coming up on next school year.
Thank you, Inga, for allowing me the opportunity to have this platform. It's always such a delight to speak with you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much,
I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Likewise. Bye-bye.